You're listening to Rcflightcast with Frank Betts. Welcome to this edition of Rcflightcast Podcast. Well, I'm back in the saddle again. A little backstory. I did this particular podcast back in 2009, all the way about up to 2011, I guess. Did a little over 300 podcasts. Had a lot of fun doing it. Some really great interviews. Had a lot of stuff sent to me to check out and talk about and what have you there, and had a lot of fun with it. And then, but at that point, I'd really been heavy into the RC stuff, and I don't know, I just kind of got burnt out, I guess, because I was, really into building scratch-built 2D stuff, out of fan-fold foam. I used a CNC machine called a flat printer, PHLAT printer. Look it up. It's a pretty cool little CNC machine. Kind of crude, I guess. I don't know, but it did the job for a good year, I guess. I was, what was that? I was using a CAD program called SketchUp at the time, and it was free. It was really powerful and easy to use, and the flat printer people come up with an add-on so that once you made up a print, a model of what it is you wanted to make, then you send it over to the flat printer from the computer, and about 17 minutes later, you'd have a little profile plane ready for you. Because I was using that blue core foam, fan fold foam they call it, house insulation. It's like a 1/4 inch thick. Each panel was about 24 inches by 48 inches, so you could pretty much make a full-size plane on one panel, and that's just what I did. I'd come up with an idea for a plane, draw it up on SketchUp, and then just send it over to the flat printer, and bam, next thing you know, it was built. And I had a lot of fun with that. You just put them together with some hot glue, take your little electronics, like your little Blue Wonder at the time, which I abused the heck out of that little motor. But yeah, in fact, I think I got one left over somewhere. You can't find those. Not that I can think of anyway. Kind of an equivalence, but not really the Blue Wonder. And but anyway, yeah, I'd toss all my electronics on there and run next door to the empty lot and fly it around, check it out, and see what kind of little changes I could make. Then I'd come back in and make little changes and print out another one. And once I got to where I wanted to go with it, I'd fly that thing all day long. And if I crashed it, just head back to the house, hit print, and make another one. And you fast forward to now, and I actually tossed that thing in the trash because it had gotten to a point where it was just a lot of maintenance to get any kind of accuracy out of it. And you could be printing something, the next thing you know, it'd take a left instead of a right and go right through your whole print. So you had to really sit there and watch it, make sure it didn't goof up. And it just started goofing up too much. And then the stepper motors, I just couldn't find one powerful enough for that setup. And I was burning out little chips. And I don't know. Finally, I just tossed the whole thing, like I said. But, I was it in 2024, for some reason I got the bug back, and I went and bought a drone. And started flying that thing around, and I went, I wonder what's going on in the RC world nowadays. So I started checking online, and I found a CNC machine pre-built. It's called Two Trees. It's a 450 Pro, and it's has a cutting radius of 18 inches by 18 inches. So I take that ready board that you can get from Dollar Tree for, I don't know, $1.25 or so, and it fits perfectly in that. But like I said, you can only use a 18 by 18 inches at a time. So when you build something, instead of being able to build the whole thing up, you got to build it in halves. So half a wing, and then half of the fuselage. But usually you can get the tail and elevator in one shot, and then other little incidentals or whatever. But I'm using a program called Easel, and it's a subscription, but it's really easy to use because this CNC machine I got, you can also do woodworking on it. But my original intention was really to print out these planes again, and it does a great job, never skips a beat. And I use that 1/8 what is that, a little router drill bit, and it just cuts it like butter. And instead of 15 to 17 minutes to cut something out, it only takes about 7 or 8 minutes. And like I said, it's perfect every time, never skips a beat. You can walk away from it and it'll just print it out, no problem. So I got that going. Built a couple of little, oddball, little profile planes, and then I got to thinking about all the electronics and stuff I need. So I got online, and I'm lucky enough that I have a nice little budget. So I'd get on these different little RC groups and read up, people doing their little scratch built stuff, and then I'd start taking notes about the motors they'd use and the props and the ESCs and the battery types. And then I'd go to some of my old favorites where I used to buy my batteries at, my lipos at, which I always had good luck with, and I do to this day have good luck with them. And then the motors, I can't remember. What was that place? There's a new place I get my... Sunny Sky Motors. They're pretty reasonably priced, and that's about as close to, say, a Blue Wonder type engine motor that you want to get. And I think they're like the ones I've been buying, the 1500 and the 1900 kV stuff, right around $14 a piece. And although it's Chinese made products, they have warehousing over in Indiana, I think it is. So I'm here in Michigan, so if I order something from them, it gets here pretty fast, and the motors are really nicely built. So I've been using those, and then getting my various size props for what I think I'm going to be building. And the ESCs, I got a variety of sizes of those. And I got a Futaba that's a 7C I got back in 2000s. It was, about $350, $400 for it. And I've had it forever. Geez, the receivers were like $100 a piece at the time. So I bought 3 of them, ultimately. And, it's like, 2011, 2012 is when I kind of got burned out on all this. So it all sat for years. And then I finally pulled it all back out and actually sent my Futaba transmitter in to Futaba repair facility, and I'm having the modes changed. I'm on mode 2, but I want to go to mode 3, which means the throttle is on the right side, and then for throttle rudder, and then for elevator aileron it would be on the left gimbal. So I had those switched out. I still haven't gotten it back yet. Jeez, it's been a month and a half that they've had it. But I knew they were going to take a while, so I went out and thought, I want to buy me a little cheap radio, something to get by on until I get that back. So I got on Amazon, started looking around, and I found Skyfly, is that right? FlySky i6. And I bought it for $60. And it come with a receiver. And the receivers are like $18 a piece. So I bought a couple of those. And it programmed up really nice. And I've been using it quite a bit, even with my more expensive FMS planes I got. I got the Ranger 1220 millimeter and the PA-18 Super Cub 1300 millimeter, and I use it with that, and I've been flying like crazy, and it's been working perfect for me. It's not too fancy, not too cheap, and it does exactly what I want to do, and it's great for the flying wings, or the flapper or aileron combination. It sets up really nice for that, and you can have I think it's up to 20 separate models you can set it for different flying or airplane situations. So that's the perfect little unit for that. So I got that that CNC machine, and I've been cutting out planes like crazy, and all I do is I just take hot glue and I stick them together, and it makes a complete wing and a fuselage. And then I thought, you know what, I need a way to mount the engine, because I used to take like a little 10 millimeter by 10 millimeter square stick, about 4 inches long, and that's how I mounted my motors. Because I'd mount the motor on the end of that stick, and then I'd hot glue it to the end of the plane, and boo, off I go flying. But I couldn't find the style I wanted, so I got online and I checked around, and I found a guy that makes them, and they were like $3 a piece. Come to find out, he made them with a 3D printer. And I got to thinking, maybe I can make my own. So I went out and I bought a Bamboo Lab A1 printer. It's got a 256 millimeter by 256 diameter plate that you could make just about anything on. In fact, I've already made a couple of EDF jet type planes on it, and it's worked out perfect. It's only thing is, it takes hours for some of the parts to print out. In fact, I'm monitoring a Cub right now that I found for free online, and the nose end of it is printing as we speak, and it's slowly building up, looking like the nose end of a Cub. But I got that, and read up on it, started making little test parts and everything, and then I thought, well, I'm going to make my own motor mount. So I got a free program called Tinkercad, and it is amazing. I mean, I can get right on there. It's almost like SketchUp. In fact, SketchUp is kind of incorporated in part of it now, as of a couple of months ago. But I get on Tinkercad, and I got my little micrometer, and I can sit there and measure out what kind of part I want, put it on Tinkercad, and then turn it into a G-code file, feed it to my A1 printer, and, just an example, this motor mount, which I modified just a little bit. It took like 18 minutes to make, and boom, there it is. So now I got all the free motor mounts I want. I've been making my own hinges. Those have been coming out really good, because I was buying those before, and those were like, I don't know, $8 for like 20 of them, I think it is, something like that. So decided to make my own, and you can use a piece of a paper clip in there as the hinge point, metal part there, and those have been working perfect too. And I've been, what is it? I printed out the bust of a pilot. I chased one down finally. I was looking on a program or a site. It's called Yagi 3D. Nosing around there, and I spotted a pilot. He got a pretty serious look on his face. And I printed that out. Now I just hot glue it onto my little crappy little builds there. And if I crash it or tear it up, I just walk in, print out another one. So more and more I'm being, making my own stuff like this. So a 3D printer, I think I paid $400 for it. And then the CNC machine, I paid, what did I pay? Not quite $400 for it. And yeah, I haven't had no problems with either one of them. A little bit of a learning curve, but once you get the basics down, like especially for what I do, it's fun. I just sit here and dream up stuff I want, and bam, I go out and make it. So, like I said, right now I'm kind of dipping into the lightweight PLA type filament. It's a lot lighter than the regular PLA filament. It's really made for if you're building a 3D aircraft. So, like I said, I'm getting more and more into that, and that should be interesting. Just sit here and just print out my own planes. Ultimately, you add up all the parts, it'll take you about a day, literally, nonstop, to print up all these parts. But once you get them, hey, you break something, you just turn around, print out the part again, and go back at it. So that's pretty much what I've been doing so far. I mean, I printed out a field box that it's a full-size box with some little compartments in it, and it's got a couple of arms that stick straight up about 10 inches, I guess, and it comes into a Y. That way you can set your plane on it, and it won't get away from you while you're working on it. I printed that out. That was an 18-hour print. And what I do is at night, before I go to bed, I just turn the printer on, walk away, and then when I get up the next morning, or maybe in the afternoon when I get home from work, it's just sitting there waiting for me. It's like Christmas morning. You go to print something out, the picture says one thing, but man, when you actually have it in front of you, it's like, wow, this is too cool. So it printed out perfect. So now I've got a little field box, and I made some other little parts and things that complement, the building these planes or whatever. And so I just been building up on bits and pieces on parts. I bought me a little parts bin off of Amazon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 compartments. Well, was it 6 compartments, and they're 4 abreast, so 36 there. And that's where I keep all my little parts. So as I buy things, I'll like double up on it, because you're gonna break something. And so I'll double up on it, and all my little parts for making my own little bullet ends for my lipos. I got a nice little charger that was left over from back in the day, and the thing's still going strong. That's a great balancing charger. You can use it at home, plug in 110 volt, or you can take it out with you and run it off your car battery. And I've done that, gone out flying all day long, just rotating those batteries like crazy. Never put a dent in that battery at all. My car battery, she always fired right back up. But yeah, it's it's fun. I've been getting right into it. Only problem right now is it's stinking windy days over here in Michigan. If it's not 100 degrees out, it's a pretty stiff wind. But like today, this being Sunday, what is this, the 29th? Yeah, 29th of June. I'm looking out the window, nice and sunny out. Not too much wind. So this is like we're taking a breather right now from super hot days that we've been having. So I've been taking advantage of that, and I'm getting ready actually to go out and fly my that little Super Cub that I got from FMS. Got to check that out too. Get online and look up the PA-18 Super Cub 1300 millimeter. And what a company. I ordered these and they come out of Tallahassee. No, not Tallahassee. What am I thinking? There was a place in Florida. And yeah, I got them like, within a week actually. So it's fast shipping. They come in through UPS. A lot of people, well, not a lot, but some people complain that the boxes were beat up or what have you. But even if they were beat up a little bit, the way they box these up is amazing. And it's a really small box because it's a 2-piece fuselage that they have that you put together. And then, of course, you slap the 2 wing halves together. And everything else is installed on it. It's just peripherals. The motor's on it. The ESC is buried in the bottom. All your wires are labeled. So it's a matter of just hooking up your receiver, tossing in a LiPo, and go fly. So anyway, I guess that's going to be it for this first podcast. I don't want to go, dragging on or anything here. Trying to keep these down to around 20 minutes, for a podcast. And I'm going to try and get some people on here and do some more, get back to interviewing again. And maybe I'll have put out a couple of videos, too, for a podcast, as opposed to just this audio. And I'm doing everything through YouTube. Of course, you know that. That's how you found me. So, yeah, Rcflightcast Podcast. That's what this is. I'm Frank Betts, and glad to be back at it again, and I hope people enjoy this. If you're down, get in the comment section. If you got any comments or ideas or thoughts or whatever, please put them out there. And I'll try and put some links up through my little show notes here so I can, you can easily click on it and go check out what I'm talking about on a lot of my stuff. But, yeah, it's going to be some fun times. Things have really changed since 2000, and then fast forward to 2025 like this. Electronics, all the extras you can get. Because, when I started back into this RC stuff, really, I was into the nitros engines, and I was coming into the electronic stuff. So I was there when, you were making that progression over to the electric motor. And then it was really, really going good by the time I got burnt out and got out of it. So now, that's pretty much all there is. If you look up anything RC, it's pretty much electric stuff. And they've really come a long way. Duh. Pricing's good. If you look around, shipping's a little iffy at times. But I get a lot of my stuff off of Amazon, I hate to say. And I've got a local hobby shop that I go to, and he's got quite a bit of stuff, but some things, you just can't keep in stock. And if I can get it, Amazon has spoiled me. I can order something and get it the next day. And that's how lazy I've gotten. But anywho, that's it. So I hope everybody has a good day and good flying. And we'll see you on the next podcast.